I'm Lisa, and this is Jim. We are here to do a Valentine's couples tag. I was tagged by,
This is Joey.
that's Jake. I was tagged by Kimberly from, uh, oh shoot, Kimberly's Inspired Life. And so we have 10 questions that we need to answer. Hopefully, you guys can see us here. I'll move you guys a little closer. Okay, so the first question is, how long have you been together? I'll let you answer that because you're always good at remembering stuff.
We were married in July 14th of 2010. So we've been
Oh, I
married.
remember. Our,
So we've been married 12 years.
Yeah.
Almost 13 years.
Okay, number two, how did you meet?
Well, you reached out to me online, didn't you?
We were on a dating app.
Dating app, yeah. And yeah, she reached out to me. I'd pretty much given up on dating apps and dating period. But for some reason, when she reached out, that beautiful face, I, against my better judgment, replied to her
Against your better judgment.
at that time
Oh.
because I had given up on that.
Okay. All right, number three, where was your first date? Oh, Charlie's.
And a movie.
And a movie. Yes, we had a movie and then we went to our Oh Charlie's. Or was it the opposite?
Thinking, Jim. Thinking. It was the opposite.
It was
we went.
movie.
We went to O'Charlie's first, and then we went to the movies,
Okay.
and then because I remember smelling your hair standing behind you, and thought her hair smelled fantastic. It was very awkward for me. You get that awkward moment, when you're overly excited.
Yeah. Okay, what is a memorable moment from when you first started dating? Okay, for me was the way that he showed kindness and patience and love. Even though we had just met, he was opening the door for me.
Which I still do today.
Yes, he still does. Um, I think that's the one thing that stood out to me, that you were a true gentleman.
I fondly remember we had talked online. This is chilly, by the way. We had talked online, and then our phone conversations, but all I had was a picture of her. I didn't see her, but seeing her come out of the house that she was living in, I still remember thinking to myself, she was so much more beautiful than what her picture uh, represented.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, your picture did not do you justice. You were gorgeous.
Thank you.
Still are.
Thank you. Okay, number five. What? Oh, who said I love you first?
That was definitely me. I I fell in love with her before I even met her because we had talked first off online for quite a while. Back when AOL was popular, you'd come home, turn on your computer, and it would be "You got mail." Uh, Up until then, when I would get off work, I would go straight to the bar. But I gave that up to rush home to see the "You got mail," and then talking on the phone. So I just fell in love with the person without sight unseen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, 6. When was the moment you knew you were in love?
Well,
I guess that kind of answers.
I already said that. I fell in love with you before I even met you because of all our conversations and getting to know you that way, uh, verbally, I guess, or however you want to, before any physical seeing you physically.
Right.
So I was in love with your mind and your personality before I was in love. Well, not before I was in love, but before anything else.
And I think I feel the same way. I was in love with who I believed he was, as far as on the phone and through our messaging back and forth. And then when we met, um, it kind of got stronger. So I guess it did because we got married, right?
Yes.
Okay. Number 7. What are your favorite qualities about each other? Um, I would say for me, with him, like I said, treating a woman with respect, kindness, and love, and always putting me first. I think, I mean, who wouldn't want that? But I had never had that in the past, so, and I never thought it was true until we met. And but I think that's.
What qualities?
Mhm.
What was that question again?
What are your favorite qualities about each other?
Oh, wow. You have so many that it's really hard to pinpoint any one. Um, I guess the inspiration I get from you. Never, ever get tired of being around you, and I draw so much. The cat just jumped on my lap. I draw so much strength to do almost, I guess, do the impossible. It seems like at times, and the fact that you just, I've never felt love. I've never been married before, and what I thought was love was nothing compared to how I feel about you. You're the only woman I truly and honestly can say I ever think of,
I know.
and that makes me feel really good.
Right, right.
You're my dream girl.
Number 8. Who is more organized?
Mm,
Well, it used to be, I think we both were pretty much organized, right? Because you always handled all the house stuff, the bills, everything like that. And I was organized with keeping up with,
I think it all depends on what it is.
yeah, we kind of
Because
share the
yeah,
roles of everything.
I mean, household wise, you're more organized, and you have the finances and everything because I keep track right of everything on that aspect. So it's a it's a joint
Team effort.
team. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
team effort.
Yeah.
Our whole life is a team effort. There's no one person that's more important than the other, and it never should be that way anyway. Uh, I try to let her know what I'm doing as far as, like, say, the household finances, just in case something should happen to me and she has to step into that role. She's not going into it blindly.
Right.
But as far as the house goes, and she's very organized in like her craft room and stuff.
Number 9, if you could go back to when you were first dating, what advice would you give yourself? Myself, I don't think any advice, because we took it slow. I felt like we took it slow enough to where I could adjust, and I think you were surprised when I said yes to let's meet up. Do you think? Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So I don't think I would change anything. So I don't know of any advice. I don't. I don't think. What about you?
No, I mean, we did it the right way.
I don't have any regrets. I guess
yeah.
that's the thing.
We did it the right way. We got to know each other uh, before meeting, and we got to know as much as you could possibly learn about somebody. And then everything else after that, when we met, was just, extra icing. I know one. I just so many different things here. I'm trying to think. the biggest thing I wondered is, the old question after you go on a date with somebody, how long do you wait before you call? That, believe it or not, that plagued me. Like, because I wanted to rush home and I wanted to call and talk to her, and because I was so excited about meeting this beautiful woman, and biting my nails for like 3 days. I think how long was it before I talked? We talked.
It was a while.
It's like 3 days. I think that's the only thing I would not, if I felt that way, I wouldn't do the stigma of waiting X amount of days before calling. I think I would have.
Do what you feel,
Yeah.
not what you think everybody expects.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I think we've learned that
Yeah.
that we live our life as far as like what we want and what we expect, and not what society says. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Just just whatever
feels right.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always put you first. I try to. I'm not saying I'm 100% because I'm not. I'm human, so I do selfish things sometimes, and as I've told you, I regret anything stupid that I do that cause grief to you. So anyway,
Okay. I guess that was number 9. 10. What advice would you give other couples for a healthy relationship? No, I got advice. Even though we talked for a long time, and wrote back and forth and waited and did all that, you're still never going to know each other until you move into the same place and you're under the same roof. Um, Communication is the biggest thing. If you don't have communication, if you don't feel yourself in a relationship and you don't feel that you can communicate openly, then you either need to try to fix it or get out of it, because it's not going to work. We've had times where we weren't able to communicate, and it was because I felt a certain way and he felt a certain way, and we wouldn't communicate together. We would get upset with ourselves for not saying whatever. But here in the past couple years, we've been able to just openly talk to each other about any issues we have. But the main thing I believe is communication, respect. What advice would you give somebody to have a healthy relationship?
Okay, a couple things. One, when we first got together, I was still having issues, a drinking problem. And what another thing that makes my beautiful wife Lisa so special to me is I made that decision back then. I could drink because that's what I was doing nonstop, or be in a relationship, and I kept it from her. Joey, I kept it from her. But I think honestly, I should have. I mean, you didn't really realize how bad it was until just a few years ago.
I think when we moved in together at night, we would have for dinner, we'd have wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him one time, I thought it was strange that we had wine every night, but you really didn't come clean then. It was
No.
just like, well, he enjoys wine and I do too, but it's not something that I did every night.
Yeah, but also once you are in a relationship, a committed relationship, I guess the biggest thing, and I didn't have this problem. Don't put yourself in a position where the other person may suspect that you're not faithful.
Right.
I mean, anybody who's unfaithful, it doesn't happen by accident. You see warning signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what path you're going down. You got to steer away from that path. Unless, because if you don't steer away, you keep going down that path.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not in the right relationship. I would never ever.
Right. And I think that goes back to open communication and being able to communicate what's going on. And if you're feeling distant from that special somebody, of course you're going to kind of think, oh, well, their relationship's better over here, I'm just going to stray. But yeah, you definitely have to Be strong, huh, Jojo?
I know I was worried when we first got together. I made a promise to you that one of my biggest fears is you breaking down on the road, and I told you,
Right,
you know, I always had new cars, so I always told you that you would always have a new car to drive
right,
because that is a fear. The thought of her being broke down along the road.
right,
But always put your other significant other. Always put them first. Think of their wants and needs before you think of your own.
right.
You'll feel better. I mean, I feel better when I see you happy and you
Right.
smile.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I think now we try to do things that make each other happy. Um, I know I do. I put his feelings before mine a lot of times because I don't want him, and because I think because of what we've been going through, some of you may know and some of you may not, but we've had this past year has been really, really bad and rocky. But we're coming through it. We're still going through it, but
Not the marriage.
not our marriage.
Yes.
But if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that our identity was stolen, and we basically lost everything. So we had to start over, and with my husband he'll be 62 in next January, so it's kind of rough starting over, but we become a lot closer, and I feel now that there's nothing that could tear us apart.
There's nothing that we will let
Tear us apart. Right. Doesn't matter what comes at us, because I look at our relationship as one now. It used to be, I used to look at it like him and me, and then we come together. But I look at it as us together taking on the world is how I look at it. So I want to thank Kimberly for tagging us, and we really enjoyed doing this, and it kind of brings up memories, and I hope everybody has a fantastic Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. We're doing this on Sunday. There's JoJo.
Yeah.
Little pea head. We have our little fur babies.
That's Chili.
Chili, JoJo. We got 3 doggies and 4 cats. We rescued 4 cats when we moved. Well, we rescued more than that.
Yeah.
But we rescued cats when we moved to this area, and we have 2 water turtles and a tortoise. So we love our animals. They're our world. But thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys all have a great Valentine's Day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.